Hi people, back once again, not to talk about a fragrance. Today we'll be doing more of chit chat. I want to talk about a few things on the community. It's regarding the fragrance game. So if you're looking for a fragrance review, first of all, you can definitely just close the video, no problem, no offense, none taken. I have few things, just keep thinking about it because I am into this game, fragrance game. It's like wholeheartedly. And when from time to time, apart from reviews, I'd like to talk about some other things. So yeah, it's about 2:20 in the morning. I want to talk about let's talk about negativity today, because we're always talking about being positive, good things in life. Sometimes looking at the other side is important, I think. So first of all, I have about 5 things that I want to talk about, being specific. I wrote down those things because sometimes I forget where I am and I just go away from the main discussion. So I'd like to keep the discussion today very sort of like in a very systematic way, at least from my perspective. So I do apologize if I hurt someone through this video. Some people take offense from it. It's not my intention, but it's just telling you the truth as I feel it, as it is. Okay, everybody's truth is different. Everybody lives in different part of the world, different world in their head. They feel differently, they see things differently. So this is how I look at things. First of all, I will talk about snobs. This is a very popular topic that's going around on the fragrance community for quite some time. Quite a few reviewers talked about it, and I think like some good number of reviewers, they talked about it. I think Rick, he talked about it. I think few others, Ashton talked about it. So what are snobs? Mostly it comes as a word like a niche snob. They became sort of like a bread and butter, right? They became like a phone and a charger. I don't see it quite that way because there are quite snobs in every part of the world, different kind of snobs. You can be a designer snob, you can be a niche snob, you can be just a snob, just by itself. So what actually it means, snob, is it good or bad? So let me tell, like Nikhil Bhai told a few days ago in his channel on his live Q&A. I think snobs are, in a way, it's not a bad thing. It's not at all a bad thing if you are a niche collector and you love niche perfumery and you just like, you like very distinctive taste and you just want to willing to spend thousands of dollars on a fragrance. If you can afford it, that's not a bad thing. Why should it be a bad thing? If you can afford a Ferrari, you should buy a Ferrari. If you can afford a Ferrari and you're still stuck with your, Volkswagen, like a old car or a Toyota old car, it's your choice. But if you can afford something, go for it if you absolutely love it. So that is the love and the passion and affordability, step by step. So there is nothing wrong with it. The problem there is with that snobs is that when the snobs feel, they go to the fragrance groups, they're part of these groups. This is addressed by many other reviewers, but I'm telling you once again. I noticed, in different groups, people post scent of the day, something regular, like nothing from, like out of the world or something. Let me show you like a regular fragrance. What can I show you? Let's say this fragrance, let's go with this. This is Low Par Kenzo. This is a very nice aquatic summer citrusy scent. It doesn't last all that long, but a very beautiful bottle, inexpensive, kind of underrated, from the house of Kenzo. So someone, let's say, posted this on a fragrance page, and that page is sort of like an old fragrance page. Like, let's say a lot of people out there, like veterans, and they have huge niche collection. Most of the people who are actually sensitive, who are nice people, who have class, they would actually understand the sentiment of a fragrance or the guy, where he's coming from. Maybe he just started a collection, or he's just using it. Who cares? He's just using it for the day. Most of the people are nice. They will say, nice fragrance, and I use this in my school days, college days, a nice fragrance. Maybe they'll say like it got reformulated a little bit here and there. So they would like to exchange the knowledge. It's like about exchanging share your knowledge, passion, or compliments, interest. That's what the fragrance game is all about. But there are some people, they will just come up from nowhere and they will be like, start judging you. Like, let's say you are the one who posted the Kenzo, and they go right like, oh man, no, don't wear these cheap fragrances, these are not good, these are not good for bang for the money, these are so cheap, synthetic, and blah 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 blah. You should definitely try some Creeds or some Amouage or something, Oud, those people, because they feel it's only justified use a fragrance that is up to their standards, okay, like acceptable by them. But the funny fact is, whole world, do not I'm not judging those rich people, or I'm not saying rich people are bad people, but those people who are snobs mostly usually are kind of like douche side. They have some money, they have some car, they have a house, maybe they're spoiled son or daughter of someone. So when they do that, they don't represent the majority of the people. How? Because they are not in the majority of people who are more like average Joes, normal people like you and me, in the middle income, higher middle income group, or they are not part of that majority people who are nice. They're part of the 15% people who are snobs, who are like in that sort of they are spoiled, as well as they are not the nicer, from the nicer side of the humankind. In that way, it what it does to other people who just started the collection, they are obviously don't have that much clue what's going on, so they just watch the reviewers and they just follow someone. So they can follow someone, they can follow whoever they want. But then even the snobs, they'll come and like, hey, you follow that reviewer? That reviewer is a piece of toot toot toot, right? They say. Or they say, he is like a hype king or something, do not follow it. Who are you to come and tell someone that who they want to follow, what they want to buy? So that is the problem right there. First problem is those niche snobs. We have to kind of like unite against them. And even if you are just a designer head, like you like your designers, and you think showing off niche fragrances is kind of like bad thing to do, or people just showing off instead of just showcasing their fragrance, in that way also it's wrong. You shouldn't hate. Don't be hating it. So yes, do not be extreme of any nature. So I'm thinking those snob people, they're kind of like harmful for the community. Second thing is haters, something related to snobs. I'd like to talk about haters and how they affect. You see, when you post a video, you just took up some time and you just put some effort, you just did some study, you tested a fragrance for some time, you used your own hard-earned money and you buy a fragrance. And no matter how much you spend for it, like how much you spend on it, some people will always jump out and first thing they do is hit that dislike. Why? Because that's all they can do. That's the truth, right? There are a lot of reviewers I'm not that blessed with. So many dislikes, I'm not saying craving for it, but some people are actually like the first thing they do when they see a video being popped up, they subscribe to the channel, they watch those videos, they go to the link and they hit the dislike. They actually gave the reviewer one more view and they hit the dislike. So it doesn't matter, because usually if your work is good and you are like you're following all the rules and regulations, you're playing by the law. Most of the time, if you're talented, if you're good, you'll grow on your subscriber side and you'll have a lot more likes than dislikes. But those 2, 3 dislikes, 5 dislikes, you can actually go and see which countries they do it. I recently just took an interest, just wanted to see. First thing, that the highest dislike came from the states, the number of dislikes, but the proportion wise, it came from my own country. So this is the thing, it shouldn't stop you, shouldn't bother you, because you are doing something that others can't do. You are sometimes doing something like you're collecting, designer, maybe it doesn't matter, maybe people are jealous of your collection. I'm saying that because that is a fact. I'm not trying to be bragging. Many of you who have a collection, you guys know many other people over there, they just say, oh, nice collection, but they actually hate you inside because they can't buy a lot of other fragrances. It's normal. Jealousy is normal. But some people just hating you, that's what I'm talking about, haters. Just hating you. They do hate everything. You do the thing most perfectly. You have the best camera setup, you have the best sound setup, the best beautiful looking girls, or outdoors. They'll still have a problem. They'll find a problem for every solution, right? So we have to stay away from these haters and do not let them ruin our day. I saw Mr. Matsy messaging me a few days back, like some guy was like, like being stupid, he's just being like really racist, not racist, what do you call that? Like he was calling him name calling, and he was saying like, you are, this, that. So the thing is, who told you to watch, right? You guys like do all this time. How come you have so much time, right? Do some productive work, sitting there on your asses, eating your chips and stuff, hating the whole day, hating the dislikes. We don't care for your dislikes. You can have 50 dislikes, but we'll carry on with our work. Nothing stops us because we're still here. Haters. Third is competition and love. These two are, I think, connected with each other. How? When you actually get into the fragrance game, why would you do it? What is your reason? I ask myself, what is my reason? Right now, I have a small, let's say at this stage, I have a small page, or sort of like a project. I don't have a full-on business. So I do a bit of decanting. You guys know it's not a like hidden issue or anything. I just do decanting. I have these bottles, 5 to 10 mLs. I share with the community. I recover some cost back, and then I buy new bottles so I can give it to the community. They can try fragrances before they buy it, full bottle. So I save them a little bit cost. I do review fragrances, so it helps people, right? I think that way. That is my intention. I don't care what people think, right? But if you are not into this game for business or whatever, you are into this fragrance not for reviewing, just for usage. You're just trying to use fragrances and you just like, enjoy fragrances. What is your reason? Is it because you are in a competition with others? Like, oh, he has that, I have to buy it. He has the whole line, I have to buy the whole line. He has Creed, I have to get some more, Tom Fords to keep up in the game, like the sports, Are you into that whole thing because of that competition? I don't think it's right, even if you are, because the whole thing is about love, something that you love so dearly. I really know many people are addicted like me. We are very addicted to fragrances. We have to sniff something new every week, or if you might get bored of our collection sometimes. It happens, but the love has to be there. You have to really try out and buy really good fragrances. Sometimes that's what when Nikhil Bhai said, you should go and try fragrances. Try a decant, small sample. Do not spend hundreds of dollars on a fragrance that you don't even know, blind buy it. Do not do that. You end up not using the fragrances. So if you do not have like a project, you do not decant, most of the juice would be left at the back, and you're just going to be piling up, and never going to be using them. What is it called? It's a wastage. So we have that in my, I have that like set up in my head. So what I do is I try to, release whatever I have. I try to use a lot of it. Whole day I tried. This is my, I would say, 2 hands. My skin is my test strips, test strips. Yeah. So what I do is I try fragrances. I go out. I see, the development. Whole day I write down how much, how many hours I got from it. Did anybody compliment it? Sometimes I remember stuff. So if you're into this for competition, like you want to show others, like, hey, I have a better collection, I have a bigger sausage than you do, I know this. Some people wrote in my older group, like, I do not roll like other people, I roll differently. Here's my niche, look at my niche, like, obey me, or sort of like, what they call, worship me, God forbids, right? That shouldn't be the reason. Your reason solely should be your love, and people automatically always admire your passion if they see you are true. Okay, you can have your absolute weaknesses and stuff. You might not make the perfect review all the time. You may not pick up the right notes. You might get it wrong. You might forget something. But if you're keeping it honest and you are at it for passion, people will see you and really respect you. That's what I feel. And the last one, I would say 2 things at the same time. Let's finish this in a one topic. One is called the backbiting. Second one is called fake hype. Fake hype is actually, let's finish that first. Fake hype is something that reviewers constantly are, many reviewers who already got popularity, and I'm just gonna say it as it is, I don't care. Many reviewers who got the name, so now the companies, or rather houses, so-called niche houses, they come up to them and say, come on, here's some free bottles, say good things about it. Maybe here's some money, some cash. And in exchange, people follow those reviewers blindly. So what they do, they run out and then blind buy those fragrances recommended by the reviewers. Those fragrances, after 1 to 2 months or 2-3 months, it's not even to be seen in those reviewers lists ever again, I'm telling you. And they just like dump it. I saw reviewers dumping their fragrances. It's gone. It's no good, right? It's no good. 50% off, 30% off. So no names, no hating, but that is not right. Sometimes, it's to me, it's a lot more than that. Collection, and then you go for the next hype. It's a lot more than that. You create memories. You have Versace Puram. How did it serve in your school? You create memories 2-3 years. You use 6 bottles of it. Hugo Boss bottle, 5 bottles of it. So when you actually go into a conversation someday, you say, yes, I use Hugo Boss bottle. Man, those crazy days. Every day would go out camping and stuff, or friends hanging out with other friends. I have those memories in my head. So fragrances bring back memories. They create memories. They do so much more. It has to be something that is part of your love, because fragrances are there to complement you, to create memories. That's what I feel. So do not fall for the fake hype. Try a fragrance. If it's not possible, try to look for a guy, fragrance bro, who's decanting stuff. Try to get like 5 ml, 2 ml, 10 ml, doesn't matter. Instead of going and buying like $100 fragrance out there, right? So do not fall for the fake hype. Later on, you'll hate the fragrance game, or you'll end up hating the reviewer. Last is backbiting. This is actually hurts me. This actually hurts me, because even though I'm saying, maybe sometimes I'll be like, talking about fragrance reviewers who I do not like at this point, I do not watch anymore. I criticize. God, where's my word? I criticize sometimes, but I do not actually like make fun of them or try to belittle them. I notice that pattern in many pages, and people seem to enjoy it. Many people are like sort of sarcastic people, they enjoy it. And what did these people do to you apart from being famous or likable? They have big subscriber base. Yeah, sometimes they are trying to hype things up, sometimes they're childish, sometimes they're after the money. But if they're not breaking the law, you know, and you can say things nicely, right? I don't think it's a very healthy practice that some of us do and allow in our groups to do. When I see horrible things, you know, it's like memes and stuff. Sometimes I find something really genuinely funny, that's okay. But when it actually trying to be personal and it's about hatred, and you just backbite on someone like, I hate this reviewer, he's this, you're being racist because you do not like someone, he's certain part of India, he's like brown skin, black skin. So you have that. Sometimes people have that. I thought it only happens in our region. No, it happens all over the world. I heard from reviewers from Germany, from States, Australia, they face backlash in their own country, but they're more loved overseas. I get so much more love from Pakistan, for example, you know, like a lot of brothers from Pakistan, they gave me so much more love than hate. And when I got more hate from my own country, it's normal. I take it as like, you know, it's part of life, right? So yeah, I think we should try to practice healthy habits and try to keep it fun and entertaining for others. We should not, when you become like sort of face of YouTube or fragrance community and people actually looking up to us or, you know, listen to us, we should always convey good messages, positive messages, right? So it helps, it teaches the younger generation a lot more than disrespect or snobbishness, all this snobbishness, being snobs and stuff, not hating. We have to teach these things as well. If we practice good manners, good stuff, and good respect among each other, mutual respect, I think it sets good example, and then a lot more unity than fights, right? So those are the things I want to talk about today. It's a bit a long video. Hope some of you watched it. Do let me know what you think about these things. And I have few good friends who are actually like guardian angels, like Chris, my man, Rick, a lot of other people in that community who are reviewers, but you know, they are like doing so much for the community. Thanks to all those people for inspiring me all the time. Take care, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Good night from Dhaka, Bangladesh. Bye bye.